like this, 'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out a loud goodbye.
This gonna be the
What up?
type
What
of
up?
night.
What up? It's your boy, Mr. Von. Mr. Von's channel, Sweatbox. We back. We live, we active here on the channel. Yes, indeed. You know how we do. Still dodging those digital jabs, baby. Let's talk about Marvel's What If series. Now, this is going to be my episode 1 and episode 2 review because I watched episode 1, but I wasn't able to get the review out. So I just decided to combine episode 1 and episode 2. Oh, excuse me. So let's talk about it. We'll start with episode 1, which was entitled Captain Carter. What if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers? Now, when they first released the trailer for What If, I was into it. I was super excited for it. I think some of the storylines are very interesting. I couldn't wait to see it. But the one episode that I was least interested about, I wasn't not interested, but least interested about, was the Captain Carter one. I was like, okay, I can kind of see where that one's going to go, kind of. So that was the least interesting one to me. So when that was announced as the first episode, I was like, okay, cool, we can get that one out the way and get to the real good ones, is what I was thinking. Now, after having seen the first episode of Captain Carter, A, I'm super glad this is the first episode, and B, I was wrong. I was not disappointed. This episode was not a letdown. It wasn't a filler. This was a really good episode. I liked it a lot. I liked it how it was basically a condensed version of Captain America, the First Avenger, with some slight changes, obviously, as Peggy Carter put in as the replacement. But the changes were, the change that sparked the alternate universe was her decision to stay on the floor as opposed to going up in the booth to watch the transformation of Steve. And so then the terrorist dude was on the floor when he exploded the bomb. Steve hops out and gets shot trying to stop the terrorist dude, and so he can't get back into the chamber. So Peggy hops in, they use her, she comes out buffer than ever, and she's hard, bro. She was a very good super soldier. I admit, that whole first scene where she where she flips the car over with the shield and she's just throwing motorcycles and soldiers, I was like, oh, she's thorough. And then the whole scene, and then there's the scene when she's, first of all, in order to keep Steve relevant in the story, they give him, Howard Stark creates the Hydra Stomper, which is like the first version of the Iron Man armor, and they give it to Steve Rogers, and he flies around in that, helping Peggy Carter. And one scene, Peggy Carter's riding the Hydra Stomper. You know what I'm saying? It was dope. It was a dope episode. The scene where she's riding the Hydra Stomper as they're flying through the air and she hops off and she's fighting the plane, you know what I'm saying? She's taking down airplanes and stuff. I was like, yo, this is dope. This is dope. And so, the things that were very similar is Bucky's still in it and he's still part of the Howling Commandos. But there's the scene where they're on the train and instead of him falling off, she catches him and she saves him. He's like, oh, you almost tore my arm off. Ha ha ha. I get it. But the actual thing that happens, instead of Bucky getting captured, Steve ends up getting captured in the Hydra Stomp armor. So that was a cool little twist. And then instead of the finale being Captain Rogers in a plane going down, it's Peggy Carter fighting a literal Hydra giant tentacled beast and shoving it back through a portal, and then the portal closes and it reopens and she hops out on the other end and she's in the future with Nick Fury and Hawkeye at the start of the Avengers film. So I was like, oh, that's clever. I like that. So that was really well done. So yeah, that was basically episode 1, Peggy Carter. There was a lot in there. I'm sure I skimmed over a lot because it was 2 weeks ago now. But that was it. I really liked episode 1, Captain Carter. Episode 2, What If T'Challa Was a Star-Lord? This episode was... Mwah! Oh, this episode was awesome. I loved everything about it. That opening scene... now, this was a couple different films. This was mostly Guardians of the Galaxy, but obviously there was a little bit of Black Panther in there because of the Wakanda references. But the opening scene is straight from Guardians of the Galaxy when Peter Quill was trying to steal the Power Stone, but this time it's T'Challa trying to steal the Power Stone, and when Desmond Handu's character, I don't remember his name, but the one he runs through, who are you? And then he knows him. Instead of him being an unknown, instead of Star-Lord being an unknown, he's like super popular and everybody knows him and everybody likes him. And Digimon Hansu's character is like a fan, and he doesn't even want to fight him. It's that great scene where he's he's like geeking out over meeting Star-Lord, and they have this little fight, and it's great. It was a great scene. It was a great scene. The opening was great, and it was the reveal of Yondu coming in was a Ravager never fly solo. It was great. This was a really good episode, and everything that I love. Here was the biggest twist of the entire episode. Good Thanos. That's all I gotta say. Good Thanos. What? Thanos was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was savage. There was a scene where he's fighting, and she's like, "No, don't do it. You can't beat them all. You must be crazy." Not crazy. Mad. I was like, the Mad Titan, because he's the Mad Titan. Get it? No, it was great. It was a great episode. And so here's the things that changed, because T'Challa was able to basically reason with Thanos to get him to give up his quest for the Infinity Stone, so he gave that up. So in his place, Tavan the Collector rose to power. So Tavan the Collector is the Thanos of this universe that T'Challa and Yondu have to end up taking down. There's a great scene where they're there, and T'Challa meets with Howard the Duck. It was a dope scene. There was no Gamora in this. There's no Gamora in this universe as part of the Guardians. Excuse me. We do have Nebula though, and Nebula and T'Challa have a very good relationship. She calls him Cha Cha. There's this whole plan where she triple crosses Tavan in order to help T'Challa. It was great. It was just a great episode. There's the scene where he still wears his Wakanda necklace because he got kidnapped from Wakanda, just like Peter Quill did, and he was young. He had wandered outside of the barrier, and then Yondu snatched him, and they realized Yondu sent his peoples down, and they snatched him, and they knew it wasn't the right person. Yondu knew it wasn't, but he kept him anyway. And he told T'Challa that Wakanda was destroyed. But then T'Challa, when he gets to the Collector's place, he sees a Wakandan ship, and his necklace, his vibranium necklace, activates the Wakandan ship, and he finds out that Wakanda's still alive and that his family was always looking for him. So he has a showdown with Yondu. Not a showdown, but a confrontation. They have a little fight. They work it out. It's not that serious. But then at the end of the episode, after they beat Tavan, they all go back to Wakanda. And it was super crazy to see Thanos back in Wakanda, but under such different circumstances, but it was great. And then the episode ended on a kind of a dark note because it showed a Peter Quill still on Earth working at the Dairy Queen that was in where his father had planted the seed in Guardians 2, and then Kurt Russell, aka Ego, shows up. "Hey Peter Quill, I'm your father." This says, but that's a story for another day. Oh no, we gotta find out what happens. So yeah, that's it. That's episodes 1 and 2 of Marvel's What If. I'm sure I left out some stuff, but you know how we do. This was really good. I'm into it. I don't know what episode 3 is gonna be about. Hopefully, I'll be able to get these back out on a weekly basis, like we were doing with Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. We on it. We on it, son. We here. We active. So let me know what you guys have thought of Marvel's What If series so far. Click those notifications. Leave your comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All that stuff. I'm asking a lot of you. Check out the travel vlogs. You know how we do. Until next time, we here. We out here. We active. Ooh.
I'ma go
Peace.
to the ends with you. I'ma go to the end with you. I'ma go to the end with you. I'ma go